Okay, anybody who's been paying any minute attention, any tiny minute amount of attention to the interwebs the last few days has seen the 12-year-old girl, and I believe it was Scotland, holding a hatchet and a knife trying to keep a creeper away from her. Right? Sure, everybody's seen that by now. Well, let's check in a decoy voice and let's go what he has to go with this, huh?
How does a country like Scotland become so dangerous that little girls carry around axes? And what's worse is why is the media making them out to be the villain? As this video from Scotland is going viral.
Why are you fucking with us? Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch me.
Show the knife. That's
Touch my leg. 12. Get 12 and you just.
Yeah, so this guy is egging on a 12-year-old little girl who, for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's all the rape gangs in the UK, maybe, has decided that in order to feel safe, she needs to carry an axe. I'm sorry, not an axe. That's hyperbole. That's a hatchet and a what looked to be like a fucking 13-inch kitchen knife. Wonder why she feels like she has to carry that shit, huh?
But rest assured, Scotland, the girl has been arrested. Like most viral videos, we're only seeing a brief glimpse into an incident that was likely much longer. But I'm not certain how much context you need on a grown man antagonizing kids yelling, "Stay away from us." As the
True. If the kids are saying, hey, stay away, then maybe, if you're not their parent, excuse me, you should just stay the fuck away.
UK has had several reports of girls being horrendously attacked by specific men, and it is a crime for
Yeah, in the specific men, you know, like the Muslim kind, the guy in the video sounds like one of those specific men, doesn't he?
them to even carry pepper spray to protect themselves, so it makes sense why people are siding with the kids. But sure, there is a possibility these kids were on a crime spree. It just doesn't explain why this particular adult was interacting with them in the first place. And given how much social media outrage is occurring over the incident, you'd be certain the corporate media would explain why the girl, and only the girl, needed to be arrested. But no. Days later, local outlets are only saying the female youth was arrested over the bladed weapon, and she will be reported to the relevant authorities. Absolutely nothing on the guy recording, nothing as to why she had the weapons in the first place, which lets you know they're omitting all the inconvenient information as to why little kids in the UK feel the need to carry axes in the street. As Twitter users are hailing her as a hero, with plenty of AI imagery showing her protecting Scotland, and even comparing her to Saint Joan of Arc, highlighting how the question isn't why.
I don't think it's really good to hail this child as a hero. I don't think that's very long-term constructive. I see why people are doing it, but I'm more concerned with the fact that why is she having to feel like she has to hold those weapons in the first place? Because obviously this is not the first time that somebody has bothered her, okay? A 12-year-old little girl generally doesn't just wake up one day and go, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna carry a big-ass knife and a hatchet around. Generally, that's not the first thing that would come into a 12-year-old girl's mind, okay? Like, what is this chaotic good? I'm just here to see who's asking why a little girl is carrying weapons and not asking why a group of grown migrant men are following around a 12-year-old or 12-year-olds like that. Yeah, that's my question. Why in the world are grown men following around little girls? Okay? Even take out the, I'd say illegal alien, but most of them are legal because the UK lets fucking anybody in now. Talk about destroying your own country. Thank the fucking Lord we at least got one president for a generation or two that put the kibosh on that shit for a little bit. I hate saying it, but Trump shutting down the borders is only going to last as long as he's in office. And, well, a few more years, and he won't be, unless another conservative with the same values gets in there, like Vance. But you never know. Vance could just be playing goody for right now and change his mind when he gets in. But why? But in any case, why are just men, grown men generally, following around a 12-year-old girl?
Is she carrying an axe? But why is a grown adult with that accent approaching her? You'd think these are all concerns the mainstream media would want to address, especially considering this story is basically my entire social media feed. But sometimes their silence is all the confirmation we'll get. But what's insane is far-left Reddit's replies to Twitter's reaction, saying it's good she was arrested since there was another knife attack nearby months earlier, marking the girls having
another knife attack because a 12-year-old girl's gonna go around doing knife attacks and she's trying to protect herself, sure.
weapons is going to make the immigrants get weapons to protect themselves from them? And then somebody saying they faced a similar situation, not from the perspective of the kids, but the guy recording, to which every single reply calling him out for being in that situation got massively downvoted. There's a serious situation that needs to be addressed on Reddit, but that's for a different video. It's just insane to think that when a video like this goes viral, Twitter and Instagram's perspective defaults to the kids, and how can we keep the girls safe? Then Reddit defaults to, what about the guy recording? That could have been any Redditor. How can we make everybody more
What about the guy who was told to stay away and kept following them while recording? What about him? Gee, it's not like his safety was in danger. It's not like he could have just taken a step back or two or anything like that, right?
defenseless? But after I saw that Reddit thread of the concerned parent finding out their kid is smoking pot, and Reddit collectively tried to cover for the kid, then shaming the parent for being concerned about it, made me completely lose faith in the collective hive mind of that platform. As they
I think faith in Reddit never existed. I've always known that Reddit, for the most part, was a collective hive mind of fucking crazy people. Yes, can you find actual valuable information when it comes to technology and things of that nature on Reddit? Yes, you can. Anything else, run away.
There is a valid concern about viral videos being falsely framed, where this other clip from the UK shows what their police are preoccupied with.
Yeah, a girl who went to McDonald's, right, was allowed to pay for her food in McDonald's, so apparently the Mickey D's people weren't all that concerned, and then was dragged to a cop car and arrested because apparently you're not supposed to be in a Mickey D's after 5 p.m. If you're a kid.
As most people would find this ridiculous, but it was later reported that she was arguing with the McDonald's staff and police, scratching and kicking them, as just because they
Okay, see that part? I didn't know apparently she was having... The girl allegedly threw a tantrum and insulted staff and refused repeated requests to leave, kicked another office, kicked one of the groin. Okay, so now I understand I have a better backing. I still don't like the idea of them dragging a kid to the car like that. I don't know. It's that guy protect kid mentality thing. I think it's it just clicks that part of my brain. But if she's already been a complete twat beforehand, fuck it, drag her. First time chat from John Madmont1. Hey man, how's it going? I am doing a pretty damn good. How you doing? Let's see here.
arguing with the McDonald's staff and police, scratching and kicking them. As just because they're kids doesn't mean they're not capable of crime, and just because we identify better with one group, let it be law enforcement, students, or migrants, doesn't mean we should default to one side, as I don't even really believe that Twitter community note either. But what we're seeing in Scotland or the
Yeah, that Twitter community note, I want to believe it because they're usually pretty okay, but that one feels a little off. But, you know, excuse me, if we're gonna believe, I guess, for lack of better words, believe the other community notes for things, then we can't just not believe that one because we think it might be fishy. We have to go with it.
UK as a whole makes me believe the absence of information means Twitter is correct. As look at Scotland in 2019. 2 years later, the same side is protesting deportations. Then this year, when Trump arrives in Scotland, we see mass immigration protests just like in the US.
Yeah, the immigration protests in the UK and Scotland and shit are starting to get up there. Maybe the people of that country or United Countries or whatever are actually starting to speak out for themselves. Hopefully they continue to do that and do it non-violently.
Quite an unusual thing for Scotland. For years we've been told in Scotland that left of centre, the refugees are welcome here. Well, today Falkirk have said enough is enough. People are here protesting this hotel just at the other side. We've had hundreds of refugees staying here over the years, and people are really upset at the fact that some of them have been involved in really heinous acts. Now,
Isn't it interesting how globally all these Western countries are experiencing the same exact issues simultaneously? It's almost
weird,
as if
huh?
there had to be a global agenda for this to take place. And whenever a crime, say a migrant attack on school kids, or a migrant swinging a machete at federal law enforcement, it conveniently gets omitted from the mainstream media as it harms a liberal agenda, as they can villainize conservatives or police all they want, but once they start saying the kids are bad because they feel unsafe, that's what sparks a revolution. So if you
I don't know if that's what sparks a revolution. I think what has sparked the, I guess for lack of better words, revolution, I would say more along the lines of people just saying no and standing up for themselves. I think that's closer to what's going on. I don't quite think that's really a revolution just yet, but it's pretty fucking close. Anywho, do me that thing. Do me that Ludwig thing. And help me up those numbers on the YouTube, the Twitch, and the Kick. And I will, of course, see you again later on.